Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Day's Podcast where I'm going to talk about Aaliyah. So, I have a series within a series within a series. I have series with what we're going to be doing from here on out now. You're going to be getting series of different topics, like I've been saying, where it came to astrology, where it came to albums or songs. We are going to be able to talk about different things. Why not? So, um, I have a series with fan appreciation where I already talked about Hikaru Utada. Now, this, not everybody knows about, but Hikaru Utada and Aaliyah had met. So I felt, you know what? Let's move it over. They met, and they had met in 2000 in the midst of Romeo Must Die releasing, and Aaliyah was overseas and was able to talk with Utada. Well, I could say either one. And they met. And it's a great thing they met because they're two Capricorns. They were born the same month, 3 days apart. You know, um, Aaliyah was a bit older, but you can tell that the chemistry was very genuine, and they were learning one another. And because they were both from New York, as far as being born, it was just like, oh, okay, like we just very different in a great way. And I'm just happy that there's different things that Aaliyah was able to do in such a short amount of time. So yes, fan appreciation, let's get into it. So she was born January 16th 1979, and you know I was born in 94. So when you think of the late 70s and 80s, music is just transitioning into a whole new realm, especially with Michael, especially with just more rock, and then going into hip hop, and then R&B is getting a surge by the 90s. So by the 90s, um, this special woman right here had made an album by 94, 2 days shy before I was born. And, we will talk about this in a Michael video, but Michael got married on my birthday. I'll talk more about that when we get there. But yes, she had released Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. And this was May 24th, 1994. And she was ready. When it came to auditioning for Star Search, even though she had lost, she still felt, I need to do this. This is what I want to do. This is what I love. I want to do this. And what I want to be able to disclose before I continue, if there's anything alleged that I can go into deep diving wise, where I'm like, hey, we don't really talk about this on YouTube, but we may talk about this on Patreon, we can get into it. So the link will be below, and we can talk about more things, and you can request more things. And I really appreciate you guys being able to be here with me through every episode as well. So yes, as far as her early life, she has an older brother. Both parents very loving, and she really loved to act as well. Not just singing, she loved to act, and she was a great dancer. And I had the One in a Million cassette tape, and that to me meant a lot, because even growing up, I'd have my tape player, I'd play it, or I'd listen to self-titled as well. But when it came to working with producers, she's worked with a lot of different producers, legendary producers and artists, and wanted to work with more. Her second album alone sold more than 3 million copies by now, and more than 8 million copies worldwide by 2000. that's legendary. You know, she made a lot. And, you know, Try Again was her really, really, really great single, and still is. And she did a lot when it came to acting. So let me just break things down a bit, right? So when it comes to going from Age Ain't Nothing But a Number to One in a Million, she felt that she wanted to creatively put something together that was more her, rather than just her being able to be seen for the sake that she is going to be something more than what she's giving at this present time. And that's completely understandable. So she had crafted more sounds and with great people. And you know, she went on to doing soundtracks, whether it was Dr. Dolittle or whether it was Friday After Next. Oh wait, no, not Friday After Next. Next Friday, sorry. And even down to, you know, Romeo Must Die being on that particular soundtrack as well. When I say her videos were always visionary, like there wasn't anything like she wasn't like putting forth in each video, from even the breakout video where it's back and forth to her last video, which was Rock the Boat. There's a clear sequence of just growth that you just can't deny. Like she just really was showing that she was on her way. And so doing Queen of the Damned and even having more movies that she was going to be doing, she was very much on her way. And I love the fact that she kept her style to herself. Like she always presented herself to interviews where it was just like, you know, I'm cool. Like I don't, you know, it doesn't take much for me, but I am very much aware of what I am, who I am, what I like, what I don't like. And at such a young age, it's very much appealing. And at times when you're looking at young stars, whether it was acting or singing or both, there was a young spirit to them that you see where it's just, you know, they're guided, but they're still working on some things. Aaliyah didn't always give that. She really gave, like, I'm here, what's up, all right, cool, next interview. Like, she was very much, like, comfy and respectfully because she was doing the work. She was making the moves. And this fan appreciation video is because of the fact that with her first album going on 30 years of its anniversary, and her later work being able to sorry, I'm twisting my words, her later work being able to be recognized even more over time, it just shows just true talent, and I truly appreciate her. As far as with her and Hikaru, they met and they talked about the promotion of the movie for Romeo Must Die and even future endeavors. And at the time, Hikaru hadn't released her album, and you know, it's just really something because I know a lot of artists now don't always do interviews unless it's, you know, to something that may be, you know, good for the brand. But back in the day, you know, people did interviews left and right because it was like, all right, the exposure, they'll be able to see this, they'll be able to see you, you're making money. And Aaliyah was wanted to do interviews, but she also, you know, wanted to do interviews with the right people, which makes sense. And so, not to say that we're really in closing, but I was able to really talk about her in such a short amount of time, unfortunately. Her artistry, it lives on, And like I said, her image and her videos, they stand out. There is no one like her. There's no one that can be like her. She is her own thing. She is her. Um, and as far as when it came to music and who influenced who at the time, she, and it's documented, has said, I don't pay attention to what other people do. I like what they do, but I don't pay attention to what other people do. And that's not often in this industry. You know, a lot of people, if you look, they will say, oh, well, you know, I was looking at this and looking at that. And Aaliyah really kept it cute and real, where it was just like, you know, people are doing things and I'm happy for them. And, you know, my style is different. And I make sure that when I'm doing something, I really kind of set my focus on what I'm doing and not paying attention to what other people are doing. And honestly, now, of course, you're going to hear people saying that, but at that time, whether it was the late 90s or early 2000s, you didn't often hear people say it from an R&B artist point of view all the time. Because in hip-hop, that's their money. You know, I'm gonna talk about this person if they talk about me, you know. That's different. But in R&B, it's like, you know, I'm trying to not serenade, but make you feel good. So it's like, if I'm looking at what someone else is doing to make someone or people feel good, that takes away from what I could do to do differently in a realm that is for that, you know. And I get her for that. So again, I thank you guys for listening and enjoying this episode and video, and I'll be back with more.